Hello, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls. How are you today? So I had a freaking major realization. This anti-diet, body positivity, health at every size that I have been doing is the way and the thing that I am very passionate. I'm going to continue to talk about. The thing that was hard for me as I was making this shift was figuring out how to layer in that word health, the health at every size, the being positive, without putting the shame on the food you're eating, without putting the shame on the lumps and bumps in your body that you want to change, without focusing on weight loss. How can I talk about nutrition? How can I talk about food with this anti-diet thing? Boom! On me. Intuitive eating is basically checking in with yourself. There are a lot of ways that you can check in with yourself, being present with yourself. One of them is giving up that stigma of my body needs to be a certain size before I can do things. My body needs to be a certain size before I'm enough to show up. My body needs to be a certain size before I can coach other women through this. My body needs to be a certain size before whatever. It's the part of the anti-diet movement. There's two parts that, I think there's two. There's possibly three parts that really just irk me and make me angry. And diets and diet culture, the diet industry, one of them is that these diets do harm to your body. Weight cycling, where let's take my story. I went to Weight Watchers, I dropped down, I was almost to my goal weight, I stopped going to Weight Watchers, the weight creeped back on. But the difference is when I was almost to my goal weight, I had never been more miserable in my life. I was so restrictive and so focused on food that as soon as I put something in my mouth, I was worried about the next time I was going to get to feed myself because I felt hungry. I felt like I wasn't getting enough. So this weight cycling and these binges and starvation periods, whether you think you're going through them or not, are not healthy for your body. They're not healthy for your gut. Your gut health is your immune health. And hell, all of us are worried about this coronavirus right now. Well, I'm not super worried about it. Even though it's in our town, we have confirmed cases in the hospital that's less than 2 miles or 5 miles from my house. But by going on diets and weight cycling, we're actually breaking down our immune system and causing massive inflammation for our poor bodies to fight. We are cycling ourselves through where maybe we're restricting our calories and we're counting points and we become obsessed. Okay, now it's become a mental health issue because you are obsessing about food, you're obsessing about calories, you're obsessing about changing your body to be what? To be enough? What is the mission behind your weight loss need? It hurts my heart a little when I keep asking people, like, what are your goals for the year? What are your goals for the year? And I see weight loss. Weight loss pops up a lot. And when people say weight loss, part of me has been holding back and not reaching out, but I want to, and I'm going to start reaching out. Like, what is the underlying why behind you wanting to lose weight? Why do you feel that your goal for the year has to go around this weight loss thing? Is weight loss covering up something else that's under? Maybe you don't feel like enough. Maybe you're not in a relationship where you're getting enough attention from your partner. Maybe you don't have connection with other humans. For me, other connection with humans was something I was super missing. Working at home and feeling like I needed to be busy and I needed to change my body as it was. So I was working out, I was restricting the hell out of my food where I was miserable, I was depressed, I was spinning, I was doing all the things except for the things I truly wanted, which was connecting with other freaking humans outside, in person. I love connecting with you online, but that connection in person where you can actually feel the vibration of other people's energy, holy freaking smokes. So diet culture does do that. That's one part of diet culture that I like, is like for Weight Watchers, you go to a meeting and you get to be surrounded by other humans. The only part of Weight Watchers I like is you get to be surrounded by other humans. But why is your goal weight loss? Why is your goal, like, what is the reason behind the weight loss? Are you trying to heal a disease? Was there proven, is it proven that that disease can be healed by weight loss? What if you started focusing on the nutrient part of feeding yourself? Feeding yourself, you know, like, that's really what it is. We're feeding ourselves. We are giving ourselves the energy, giving ourselves the power, giving ourselves this. So when I start talking about nutrition and health and all of these other things, yes, food is going to play a huge role in it. But you will never hear me say, ditch this to lose weight, ditch this to get smaller, ditch this, do this exercise to tone up. Yes, we want to move our bodies because it's good for our bodies and we love our bodies, so move your body. But don't go to some HIIT class or Zumba class or I don't even know what those other ones are. They look torturous, where you're flipping tires and climbing ropes, and that's just CrossFit, I think is what it's called. If you hate it, stop doing it and find something you enjoy. If you're eating foods to just be eating foods like the dry salad with chicken, first off, you might not be getting enough calories, so your body might be holding on to everything because you are starving the poor thing. And second off, like, do you enjoy it? If you enjoy dry salads with chicken, eat them. If you don't, stop freaking eating them. And that's what, for me, it just clicked. It's been hard to talk about my nutrition background because I didn't want to come across as anti-diet, body positivity, health at every size, but the mental health and the physical health and the food health in your body is all important. And I was missing that key essential part because I didn't know how to talk about it without all of you being like, you're not talking about the right thing. There's another thing I realized was that I was carrying what everyone else was thinking about what I had to say. Nutrition and food is an important part. Whether you are in a small body, a big body, whatever size you are, nutrients is what's going to make you move forward. We are so nutrient deficient. It blows my freaking mind. Like, one of the things, I was actually talking to one of my accountability partners, and we were talking about pasta, because who doesn't love a good bowl of pasta? Well, people with Crohn's and celiac don't normally love a big bowl of pasta. But one of the things I noticed is when I started buying pasta from Italy, so imported pastas, they sat way better in my stomach than pastas from the United States. You know why that is? Is because of standards, the way that food's grown, the way that things are processed. Yes, that's probably changing right now as we speak because everybody's in it for the freaking money. But in reality, if a product isn't allowed in another country, I won't use it. I mean, even your pots and pans, some of the pots and pans that are allowed to be sold in the US are forbidden in the other countries. That's huge. So when I start looking at these nutrient things, we do have nutrient deficiencies because our food is not what it used to be. So we do need to focus a little bit on food. But your focus should not take over your life. Your focus should not be, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to think about how many calories I have in the morning and how many calories I have for lunch and how many points I have for this. And oh my gosh, that number on the scale. Oh my gosh, I got on the scale again this morning. It's half pound up. Well, have you taken a poop? Like, maybe it's just a poop that's got your half. Who knows? Like, it's not about your size. It's not about that. It's about being healthy. If we're going to talk about size, I'm the healthiest I've ever been, yet I'm in the biggest body that I've ever been in. Yet I am not on my allergy well, I'm on a little bit of allergy medicines, but not like I used to be. I am no longer on my asthma medications. I'm active. I'm happy. I'm off all my antidepressants. I'm off all those quick fix diet things. And my gut is starting to feel good. I'm not getting bloated and acid reflux and having all of that stuff bubble up as much as I used to because I'm actually paying attention to what's going in my body. So from time to time, you will hear me talk about an elimination protocol. But the elimination protocol is not for weight loss. It is strictly for this learning about your body and getting in touch with your body. If you eliminate things that you think you might have an intolerance to, and then you test them, you can bring them back and you can make an empowered choice. So it's not about the weight. It's not about your body size. It's about getting in touch with your body, learning to fuel your body a way that is efficient for it, not for anyone else, not because you like this. I mean, everyone's like, ooh, I'm starting to see the get ready for your bikini body summer ads. And I'm like, guess what? My body can be in a bikini. Have you not seen that? I think her name is Lizzo. She's in a bathing suit and she's freaking beautiful. Like, health at every size, body at every size. Bikinis are made for whoever is confident enough to wear them. But the diet culture, diet industry has taken away that confidence in our own bodies. And that's where I come in. That's what I'm about. Is this body positivity, anti-diet, health at every size. That's what I'm embodying. But, just out of left field, like when I'm working with my clients and I'm doing the spring fling, that's what we're doing. We're getting in touch with your relationship with your body and your food. And we're changing that relationship with your body and with your food so that when you wake up in the morning and you look at your body in the mirror, you're not like muffin top. Oh, look at that cellulite. Oh, I've got to cover it up in all these huge baggy clothes because I don't want anybody to see me. Why don't you freaking want to be seen? Let's discuss that. Let's talk about why you want to stay in the shadows. For me, there was a lot of things that kept me hiding in the shadows. There was a lot of trauma. I had some sexual abuse when I was a child, not from family, but anyways, it's a long story and I don't really want to get into that, but there was a lot of abusive habits and things that I did to myself. There were a lot of situations that I went into because I was seeking that attention. There were a lot of things that I did and traumatized it, and now I'm learning that it's part of my trauma. It's part of my healing. It's part of how I became who I became. And I wouldn't change that. But at those moments, I needed control. So I figured I would control my food and my body. And that control kept going and kept going and kept going. And like, I don't know if you've heard my story, but I collapsed. And my friend's mom, who was a nurse, actually gave me, like, it was Ensure or something, because she knew that I couldn't handle solid foods because I hadn't been eating. I was never diagnosed with an eating disorder, but that's an eating disorder. And it stopped there, going, and it kept going. And I felt like every time I restricted more and more to get that perfect body that society thinks is beautiful, screw society. I don't think that, I think everybody is beautiful. The fact that it's up and walking around, or you're breathing and you're awake and you're able to do things, like, whatever it is, whatever your body is, whether it's, built in this perfect image of what society says or it's not, whether it's, I'm getting all heated, but so take a breath. But it's about understanding what your body needs. It's about healing yourself. And part of that healing is feeding yourself. For me, it's a balance. It's a balance of eating things that are fueling my body, eating things that I enjoy eating, and eating the things that might have no nutritional value at all. Although I can probably find some sort of a nutritional value in any food. Ask anyone that goes out to dinner with me, I'm like, yep, that's right. I just ate that piece of carrot cake, but it's got dairy in it. It's got, grains, it's got carrots in it, like I can justify just about any food, but I'm trying to get away from that need to justify my foods. You shouldn't have to justify, you should enjoy. You can check in with your body. I know that as soon as I gave up dieting and restricting, I put everything back in my house. Everything that I was craving when I was restricting. We're talking pie, pizza, cookies, brownies, and mac and cheese, because mac and cheese was the one thing that I allowed myself to cheat with for the last 20 years, was mac and cheese. You know what? I've had the same box of mac and cheese in my house for over 3 months. I have no desire to eat mac and cheese at all. So it's about finding the balance. Yes, sometimes you have to go completely the other direction. And when I first got off dieting, I did. I went completely the other direction. I don't think there was a fruit, a vegetable, or a healthy protein on my plate for 2 months. I ate cake and pastries and cereal, and I mean, not that any of those things are bad, but I'm just saying that I didn't give myself any nutrients during that. I went the other. All of a sudden, I started craving things like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, carrots. I would say kale, but I'm never going to crave kale. Never. I will eat kale, but it's not my favorite. Started craving fruits and vegetables and wanting berries and apples and oranges and being really bummed that it was winter, so I don't have as access to as many wonderful produce items as I do in the summer. But the thing about it is that I had to take myself through that journey where nothing was off limits. And all of a sudden, I started, during that time, I had a lot of time back. There was a lot of time and a lot of mental space left because I wasn't counting points. I wasn't counting on what's my next meal. I wasn't planning. I wasn't doing this and doing that. So there's a lot of space left in my day, which felt really weird. But I started doing meditations, checking in with myself, listening to my body. And all of a sudden, my body started piping up and being like, hey, can you feed me this? And now there's a good balance. Now I have a good balance between the things that bring my body joy and there's the things that don't bring my body joy. You know, I ate ice cream the other night. I know when I eat ice cream, I'm going to get an upset stomach and I'm going to get snotty. But I had that choice, and I wouldn't have had that choice if I hadn't had done that process. I had that choice. I made that empowered choice to say, like, when the ice cream came out, yes, I'm going to have some. I also could have made the choice of, no, I'm not going to have any because I don't want the side effects. But it's not about the weight portion for me. It's about how that food reacts in my body. And that's important. So as soon as you get out of this dieting and this need to be a certain weight to be enough to show up, you can start actually checking in and feeding yourself the way you need to feed yourself. And again, you know, my body may be bigger than it's ever been in its life, but I've never been more active. I've never had less pain. I'm not on my asthma medicine. My allergies are not nearly as bad as they normally are for this time of the year. I'm not on antidepressants anymore. I'm not on my anti-anxiety meds anymore. I got thrown into a really bad situation and I was able to manage it, whereas before I probably wouldn't have been able to manage it. And everything in my life is starting to balance out. So anti-diet, body positivity, and health is not going to talk about nutrition. It doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about good things to feed your body. But the biggest point that I want to make when it comes to nutrition is not something that is going to be found in a book. It's not something that's going to be a diet. It's not something that I can just be like, you should be on paleo, you should be on keto, you should be on, 131, you should be on this, you should be on this diet. I will never say that because it's about tapping into your specific body needs. We're all originals. I'm not a carbon copy. I'm not a clone. So I need to find out what's good for my body, and what's good for my body might kill you. So it's about tapping into that. But the first thing you need to do is heal that relationship you have with dieting, with food, with your body, and with the shame that comes up with being a size that society is telling you isn't okay. The diet industry, heck, is tied to pharma. You diet, you crash, you weight cycle, you destroy your gut, you destroy your organs because you depleted them so much. Now you get to be on medications because your mental health is destroyed, your kidneys are destroyed, your liver's destroyed, your gut's destroyed, you can't process insulin, now you're diabetic, like all the things. And a lot of it stems from your relationship with your body and with yourself. And that's what I do. So, I was very long-winded today, and I'm not going to apologize for that because it was needed to be said. But I do have the Spring Fling coming out. It starts, the first call is on the 19th. You have till the 18th to get in. It is only an investment of $47. It's 5 weeks. It's a group, so it's a sisterhood circle. Plus, you get weekly prompts, and we dig in. And for a limited time, if you sign up in the next few days, you will also get a one-on-one strategy session with me, either before the sisterhood starts or during the sisterhood. Just so we can dive a little deeper into your specific relationship, because sometimes on the calls it's harder to get like really deep, even though it is a safe space. But it's good to do these things together. Like I said in the beginning, community is important. Being with people is important. And if you are going on this journey of actually ditching the diet, and the diet, weight stigma, and all of that stuff, don't do it alone. If you're in that severe eating disorder, seek mental health treatments, because that's beyond something that I personally can help you with. I can help you with some of the relationship stuff with food and yourself, but if you really believe that you have an eating disorder, get help, because it is a mental disorder, and it does need a professional help. But if you are ready to just ditch dieting, start looking at yourself in a better way, come join the Spring Fling. If you're not ready for the Spring Fling, even though it's only $47 for 5 weeks, and you get a whole bunch of me and other beautiful women that are helping build you up and becoming more positive around food in your body. I also have the Feed Your Body with Love community and the Feed Your Body with Love podcast, which is my passion project. I am sharing so many women's stories about how they went from the self-hate, self-destructive patterns to living a life that they love, loving their bodies, and being well and healthy. It's absolutely amazing. So if you haven't checked those out, I'll put the links for everything in the comments. I'm in the show notes. I'm so into podcasts right now. In the comments. So I will talk to you soon, and I hope you have the most amazing day. You are beautiful in the body you have right now. So stop focusing on weight loss, because you are taking away valuable time you have on this planet, focusing on what you could do when you lose weight, focusing on how much better you could be if you lost the weight. Take your focus off of weight. Take your focus off of restriction and start loving yourself and checking in with your body right now. You are beautiful. So get out there and feed your body with love and make today amazing. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.